Oak Ridge Cemetery is the second most visited cemetery in the United States after Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. It is located in the Illinois capital of Springfield. It is also the only public cemetery currently in Springfield and was designed by William Saunders as part of the rural cemetery landscape lawn style. The location of Oak Ridge Cemetery was decided due to topography. The rolling hills the cemetery was built on was a key component in the rural cemetery landscape lawn style. It was named due to the population of oak trees that occupy the property. Oak Ridge Cemetery is the final resting place of President Abraham Lincoln and home to several war memorials. The National Lincoln Monument Association was established after the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln on April 15, 1865. After his funeral, Lincoln was placed in a temporary receiving vault in the Oak Ridge Cemetery. Today, this vault can still be visited. It sits at the bottom of the hill on the north side of the Lincoln Tomb State Historic Site. While still under construction, his remains were moved to the tomb in 1871. The memorial was completed in 1874. At first, the association was planning to construct the tomb downtown, but Mary Lincoln sent a letter to them stating that if the tomb was not at Oak Ridge Cemetery, she would have removed his remains and put them in the U.S. Capitol crypt. The Lincoln Tomb State Historic Site is quite beautiful. It is the final resting place of not only President Abraham Lincoln, but his wife Mary and three of their four sons, Edward, William, and Thomas, or Tad. Their oldest, Robert Lincoln, was laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. It was designed by sculptor Larkin Mead and was made of brick encased with Quincy granite. Construction began in 1868 and a dedication ceremony took place in 1874 by President U.S. Grant. As a result of design and construction faults, the tomb was rebuilt in 1900 to 1901 and again in 1930 to 1931. In 1876, thieves tried to steal Lincoln's body, so he was moved to his final resting place below the burial chamber floor after the first renovation. The second renovation redesigned the tomb's interior with the creation of the inside corridors, installation of the marble and bronze ornamentation, and the addition of small statues. In 1960, it became a National Historic Landmark and 6 years later was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. The base of the monument is a 72-foot square. On the north and south side of the structure are large semicircular projections. The double sets of stairs lead to a terrace overlooked by the 117-foot tall obelisk. The obelisk's four corners sit pedestals where four bronze sculpture groups representing the four Civil War military services, infantry, artillery, cavalry, and navy. On the south side of the obelisk sits a bronze statue of Lincoln himself. Stationed in front of the tomb is a bronze reproduction of Gutzon Borglum's marble head of Lincoln displayed in Washington, D.C. This was added after the second reconstruction. The nose is a different color than the rest of the bust because many visitors stop to rub his nose for luck. The entrance into the tomb sits on the south side. As you're about to enter the tomb, a member of the Illinois Historic Preservation Agency, which operates the tomb, greets you and offers some information on the tomb and answers any questions the visitors may have. Due to COVID, they are currently asking for some information for contact tracing before you enter the tomb. As you enter, you are greeted by a rotunda where two hallways break off to lead to the burial chamber. The interior rooms are finished in highly polished marble trimmed with bronze. The rotunda and hallways contain reduced-scale versions of important Lincoln statues and plaques displaying Lincoln's Springfield farewell address, the Gettysburg Address, and his second inaugural address. On the north side, 10 feet below the marble floor of the burial chamber in a concrete vault, lays Lincoln's remains. The granite cenotaph marks the gravesite and is flanked by the presidential flag and the flags of the states Lincoln and his ancestors lived. For his ancestors, the flags of Massachusetts, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Virginia fly. For Lincoln, the flags of Kentucky, Indiana, and Illinois are up. On the south side of the chamber are the crypts encasing the remains of Mary, Edward, Willie, and Tad Lincoln. On Tuesday evenings at 7, June through August, the 114th Illinois Volunteer Reactivated Infantry demonstrates Civil War military drills, and conducts impressive flag retreat ceremonies at the Lincoln Tomb. At each ceremony, a selected visitor receives the United States flag that flew over the tomb the previous week. There's no admission charge for this.